I'm going to show you what I packed for a 7-day Holland America Eurodom Alaskan cruise. We just got back and I want to show you all the items that I packed and everything I used. The good news is I used everything that I packed, so I'm happy that I didn't overpack because that has happened to me sometimes. But this time I used everything except for 2 very small items that I will show you. Other than that, I want you to just see what I packed. Now, the weather in Alaska during the summer is known to be pretty rainy and drizzly and definitely cold. So 40s and 50s. And since I am from Florida, then I definitely want to pack some clothes that are warmer. I'm not used to those temperatures, even though we're going here in mid-May and we just got back. I did have a lot of really comfortable days there. We got very lucky with some great weather, especially not nearly as rainy as we had read it could be. However, again, we got lucky, and I want to just show you what I packed. So, starting with my clothes, what I packed. So, I decided to pack 2 long sleeve merino wool tunics. These are from a brand that I really love called Wolex, and I'll put their link in my comments below. But this is the merino wool 2 tunics that I packed. Even though they're merino wool, they pack very small. They don't take up a lot of space. They're not a really thick process here, so I'm going to just tuck them in here, and I'll show you my completed luggage packing as well. But they were very small. I'm rolling most of them. I find that pretty easy. Really, merino wool is already wrinkle resistant anyway, but for me, I like to roll most of my clothes. However, I do use the compression packing cubes sometimes, but I only use those for items that are very small. So thinking about underwear, bras, or socks, I use a little small compression packing for that. I don't like to use lots of compression cubes sometimes, mainly because my bag gets very heavy, and then I always have to have my husband help me put it in the overhead compartment, which is very kind of him, but I want to try to make it a little more lightweight. This is a week-long cruise though, so I want it to be prepared. I also packed these 2 very lightweight merino wool tops, also by Wolex. They're even thinner than the tunics that I just showed you. They pack up very thin even when I roll them, as you will see. And these are very comfortable. What I've started to know and learn about the magic of merino wool is that it doesn't carry any smells really. It's very odor resistant. It's very thin and lightweight. It has some water repellent properties, but other than that, it's a magical fiber that I've only recently started using. I also packed 2 pairs of my favorite pajama pants. And also, of course, the pajama tops to go with these. The reason I packed 2 pairs of pajamas is we did buy the Holland America Unlimited Laundry Package, which for a 7-day cruise, it was $59. I figured that was well worth it. Also to save on money for, not having to check our luggage. So I definitely took advantage of that, and that was very helpful at making sure that I could just pack a carry-on for a 7-day cruise. And then, of course, my travel personal carry-on item as well. Now, for the pants that I packed, I did pack this pair of, guess what, merino wool joggers that are very, very lightweight. My favorite part about them is they have an interior zipped pocket where you can put your hand. It's actually a very secure pocket. It's great, and it fits a passport or a credit card or a phone, whatever you need. And it also has, of course, 2 deep side pockets and a zip pocket on the back. I love these pants. They have that nice cuff jogger. They're very lightweight. They have that material where it's water repellent. It will not soak in case it did, rain a lot in Alaska. And it packs super small. I did pack one heavier pair of wool pants. So this is more of a wide leg style. And I pack these in case those ports were, 40 degrees, as I read that they could get to sometimes. I'm going to pack them. But luckily, they weren't too warm. Again, kind of the magic of merino wool. Even though I wore them on the days I thought it might be colder in some of the ports, I never got too hot because merino wool will help keep you cool as well as keep you warm. I also packed 2 pairs of socks, merino wool socks, and gloves. And of course, I'll be wearing a pair of socks as well, so I'll have an extra pair for whenever I have to turn in the laundry and wash it on the ship. My main jacket that I wore when I went outside of the ports, or the day that we saw the Hubbard Glacier, which was beautiful. We were mainly out on deck the whole time, and it was definitely cold and foggy, but we got really lucky because that fog lifted, and we were able to see the Hubbard Glacier in clear view for hours at a time. It was beautiful. But that day, I definitely used this jacket the whole time, my gloves. Thankful that I had those wool pants and wool socks. But this is just a down packable jacket. For me, I'm about 5'5", and it goes down to my knees. And I really like the longer jackets for this. And of course, down packable jackets, as you know, they can pack very small, which is exactly what I needed for this type of trip. And of course, I can pack it, secure it on top, and then I will fold it into the hood of the jacket to also keep it all in one place and contained. So that whole jacket acts very small. It's also very flexible. It can be easily crushed. It's not going to hurt anything at all. And so then I'll just pack that. It kind of puffs up a little bit, but that will definitely compress very easily. All right, so I have that. Actually, I think I'm going to instead put it over here in the corner. That's kind of, yeah, that's more what I did. Pack it right there instead, and pack my wool pants more like right here. There we go. Perfect. That's a little bit more of a efficient way to pack it. Hold everything together. Clearly, I have plenty of other room actually. And of course, what I wore to the airport. So I only have, I have several shirts in here of different thickness and weight, and pants. I have 2 pairs of pants in here, but it was a 7-day cruise. So also you can't forget what you're wearing on the airplane to get there. So we left from Florida out of Seattle, and I want it to be comfortable, but also it can get cold and hot on planes equally. So I had another pair of these merino wool joggers that I wore. And then, of course, compression socks. So our flight was a good 5.5 hours. So I always wear these compression socks on longer flights. So I was wearing those, that pair of pants, another comfortable t-shirt, also merino wool. And then this was a very light jacket. So, and also very smooth, won't wrinkle, and water repellent. One of my favorite lightweight everyday jackets. And then as far as the other items that I packed for this side of my carry-on, so those are my socks and gloves. I also packed, of course, toiletries, so shampoo, conditioner, moisturizer, hairbrush, comb, makeup, all of the essentials that I would need there. I also packed these 2 ponchos in case I needed them, or if I didn't want to wear that down puffer jacket outside of the ship when we were exploring those ports. But these 2 items, these were the 2 things that I did not open, as you can see. I did not end up needing them because we got so lucky with a nice warm weather and great temperatures. So I didn't need them, though. They don't take up a lot of space, so I was glad I had them, but I didn't actually need them. I also had a pair of mini binoculars. These definitely came in handy. They weren't super high power because they're very small, but they were very good for what I was able to view with the Hubbard Glacier and some of the sea lions and some of the whale watching that we got to do. That was tons of fun. If you want more of a high magnification, you might want to invest in the space and the money to get a better pair of binoculars, but I was happy with those. And then, of course, I have any medications or anything that I would put in here. I live with type 1 diabetes, so I always have to have backup supplies for everything. I have my insulin pump supplies, other medications you may take. I also really like this bag. It's a zip case. It holds a lot of stuff, actually. And it is from Target. So when they do their first aid kit, like build your own first aid kit, where you buy 3 things of Band-Aids, you usually get this case for free. I love this because it holds a lot for what I need, especially for my pump supplies, but also it has a nice medical ID symbol. So if it did need to be found quickly in my bag, I can find it easy. Also, if I were going through security and it needed to be searched, right, for some reason, they could always just see this, and then I keep all my medical supplies in there. So it keeps me organized, holds a lot, and doesn't take tons of space. But I really have quite a bit of space that's still open in this carry-on luggage, specifically for souvenirs or anything else I might find in Alaska. So I went out there with this. I came back with some souvenirs, but I had a bunch of very small souvenirs, so they easily fit right here. And I can go ahead and just zip this up, close it. No need for me to do the expansion because I have plenty of space, so it doesn't get too ultra heavy. So there is my carry-on luggage. And then, of course, on the plane, I have my carry-on backpack. I love this backpack. It is my favorite backpack because it holds quite a lot, but it doesn't get too heavy because I might have the tendency to overpack sometimes. And this does a great job holding, electronics, chargers, passports, your wallet. I always keep my chargers. You notice I didn't pack them in my pack, but that was because I always keep them on me in my carry-on backpack, so as my personal item on the plane. So this would go under the seat in front of me, and this went in the overhead, and we flew on Alaska Airlines, and it was a great trip. Got a lot of beautiful things that we were able to see, and we'll tell you more about them in our full review. This is what I packed for a 7-day Alaska cruise. I am from Florida, and I did not want to overpack with too many jackets or heavy stuff. I was able to pack for this 7-day cruise using just a carry-on and just a travel backpack as my personal item. And that is all. I hope you liked this video, found it helpful. If you have any questions about what I packed or a curiosity about anything else, you're welcome to, leave us a comment below. I'll be glad to help answer it. And this is Lori with Places, Plates, and Points. Thank you for watching.